Hello and welcome back. So as you saw today, I'm going to be telling you about my August TBR, my reading plans, because there are so many really fun readathons happening in August and I'm trying to take part in 3. So we'll see how that goes. But because I'm not the fastest reader, I usually get through 5, 6, 7 books a month. I'm trying to be really efficient. I'm trying to bring tactics into my reading to try and, take part in all those readathons, take all the prompts that I need to, and, still read some books that I will like. So you probably saw by the title which readathons I'm taking part in, but I'm gonna start with the summer mixtape, or the mixtape-a-thon, which is, that's what's called in their socials. But this readathon is organised by Leanne, Victoria, Charlotte and Jean, and it's a mix of, music and books. And it's very summery, as the title suggests. So this readathon has one of my favourite things, which is a bingo board. I'm gonna pop it up here probably. I'm gonna leave all the links for the different readathons that I'm participating in down there in case you wanna, check them out and maybe take part as well. So reading prompts, we have 5 of them, and then we have 4 non-reading prompts, so just like activities or things to share and stuff like that. I'm really excited because I found a book that I really want to read that takes 4 out of those 5 reading prompts, and that is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, which is a mystery thriller. And Ruth Ware is a really popular thriller author, but I've never read anything by her, and this one is first one of the ones that excites me the most, but also it's been getting fairly good reviews overall, so I'm really excited about it. And it will take the prompts of nature on the cover, the free prompt, then set in another country because this is set in Scotland, and unseasonal read because thrillers are not generally super summery. And then for the 5th prompt, it says either a spicy book or a book with food themes, and I found a book that does both at the same time, which is not required or anything, but I just thought it might be fun. And it is this book called The Romance Recipe by Ruby Barrett, I want to say, and I think it's a romance between a chef and a restaurant manager or something like that. And I just thought that, I don't know, that sounded really fun. I love sapphic romance, and this just seemed like a great opportunity to throw this one in here. And then what I'm gonna do, so I didn't say again, summer mixtapes running from the 1st to the 14th of August. So I'm gonna aim to read these 2 books, and then if I have more time, I'm just gonna throw in something else that will fit, any of the prompts that I'm repeating with The Turn of the Key. So the next readathon is the magical readathon, which is, the biggest thing I'm trying to undertake this month. And it's one that I have participated in for a couple of years now that always gets me so excited. It brings me so much joy when it's time to go through the prompts and discover everything, all the new things that G is adding to it. So I have a character that I made up. Her name's Cora. I'm gonna pop her here maybe. And I'm trying to read for her to get her magical career, and this time around I have 4 official prompts and then maybe some quests that I'm gonna try and do on the side. So out of those 4 prompts, here we go. Gonna also put them up. Also, I got so excited about this that I did this whole spread. I don't even bullet journal, but I've been doing these really, I don't know, they look pretty in my opinion, these really pretty spreads. I'm maybe gonna insert some clips so you can see them better. So the first thing I have to complete is a book that has been on someone else's worst books list, but that I still think I'm gonna enjoy. So for this one, I have some options. I don't own any of them, but one of them is from G's own worst books list, and that is A Song for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. I've been wanting to read Becky Chambers for so long, and this one is part of her newer novella series, and it just sounds so delightful. It's about this robot who comes back from the wilderness and is trying to answer a question about humans and meets a monk. I don't know anything else, but that's one option. Another option I have is another sapphic romance, that's Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This one was on Aaron's from Bookton Beezy. It was on her worst books list, but I think it might be like a good option for me. I've heard other reviewers talking really highly of it, so I think I might like it. And then the other option, what was my other option? And then my third option, this one's maybe the most unlikely because it's quite a chunky book, but it's The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri, and that's from Reagan's worst books list from last year. So as I said, this one's less likely because it's very long, but you know, I have those three options going. Then my second prompt is an orange book, and the way I'm going to fulfill that, maybe you guessed it already, is by reading The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. So as I said, not the fastest reader, so this is the way that I'm making everything work together. Then my third prompt is a book that has like a single object, a single item that's the focus on the cover. And for that, I'm probably, where is it? I organized this really badly. Probably gonna read Grief is a Thing with Feathers by Max Porter, that has this huge raven. Is it a raven? It's a crow. This crow on the cover. It's really short as well, and it's supposed to have this really like poetic language, and it has this really short, I don't know, it has kind of a weird format. It doesn't really look like a novel or like a, you know, traditional novel, but I've had it for a while. I found it secondhand and I'm excited to get to it. And then another option, this one again less likely, is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This one I am so excited. Oh wait, it's so shiny. I'm so excited because I don't really like the UK cover, and I randomly found this one in a bookshop in Italy. But I just read a Greek mythology book this month, so I think it's unlikely I'm gonna read, you know, them one after the other, just because I feel like I want to give myself breaks in between. So, because they will have some characters in common but portrayed in different ways. So, yeah. But this one I know is like super highly loved, so I'm really excited to get to it, and I'm so happy I have this edition. Then the last prompt, or my last official prompt anyway, for Magical Readathon is to read the oldest book on my TBR. And I can go two ways about this. One is to read the oldest book that I've been wanting to read for the longest, which is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I've been saying I want to read this for so long. And I even read the first 30 pages or so at the beginning of July, then for some reason put it down, but I was enjoying it a lot. So this is very possible, but a very real possibility. And then I could just go for the book that I have owned for the longest time. And it could be either Spring by Ali Smith. This is the third in the seasonal quartet. A couple months back I finally read Winter after like a 3-year break from these books, and I really liked it. So honestly, if I pick this up like this quick after Winter, I'm gonna be really surprised with myself, but it's definitely an option. And then I also have Of Women and Salt by Gabriela Garcia. This is a sprawling family saga that focuses on the women of this family and follows them from Cuba to Mexico to the United States. And it's quite short. I think it's like, yeah, it's only 200 pages, which intrigues me for a family saga, because I'm assuming it will span over decades and decades, but it's so short. So I'm curious as to how that will be done. So there it goes, those are my 4 official prompts. Then if there's anything else that I want to read, I'm going to try and fit it in with the quests. So as you can see, this is not anything super set in stone, because I feel like, as I said, if I do that, maybe it's not going to really go according to plan. So I'm leaving myself lots of wiggle room to change things around. And so then the last readathon, this one is the chillest of them all, is Polarthon, and this one's hosted by Jade from JD Ray Reads. And I know it's had some iterations in the past, but I've never participated. And this time around, it's just about reading. Reading whatever you want, whatever books. There's no prompts to fulfill. So what you're doing is you're reading in order to catch fish to feed the polar bears. So Jade has set up a fundraiser alongside with the readathon to raise money for Polar Bears International to help save the polar bears. Again, I'm gonna leave her video and stuff down below so you can read more about it, or watch more about it, I guess, here. But there's this really cute, I'm gonna put it here, tracker for you to track how many pages you're reading, how many fish you're catching, and what Jade will do is she will donate £1 for each 100 pages that she reads. I'm gonna match that as well. Maybe you want to do that too. So that way all the books that I've been talking about and all my options will work for this readathon because there's no prompts. So yeah, this is probably a bit of a mix of a TBR. There's, you know, I feel like it feels really disorganized because I'm trying to do all of these things at once. But anyway, I'm really excited to read these books, read some from my TBR that I've had for a while, maybe listen to some audiobooks and participate in all of these. I'm gonna attempt to vlog during the month, maybe do a vlog for each readathon or something like that, I don't really know. But I've attempted vlogs before and then I never posted them because I didn't really like them. But maybe this time will be the time that it goes well. But anyway, thank you for joining me today. Let me know maybe a book that you're planning on reading next that you're really excited about too. Let me know if you're participating in any readathons. And as always, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of my face. And I will see you here next time. Bye!